Hey, if it like YouTube, welcome back to another episode. So, World's End is just about to receive its first residents. Picked up some cleanup crew, so just getting these acclimated and we'll get them fired into the tank. Also fragged one of the sun coral polyps that randomly appeared one day and just continued to spawn all over Dead Man's Chest, so happy to save them. Right, so let's get these cleanup crew into the tank. All the snails, I added 30 trochus snails, a couple of spiny astrea snails. One there is kind of camouflaged. And a couple of blue tuxedo urchins. Even though there's no algae here, as soon as the lights go on, it's inevitable we're going to get the ugly stage. And there'll be heaps of algae in here, no doubt. So being proactive instead of reactive, getting the cleanup crew in ready to go rather than waiting until you've got an algae problem and then thinking, oh, I need to get a cleanup crew. So just trying to be one step ahead of the game and hopefully it pays off. So I think once we get the lights up, it's just going to make this tank look even better. And the first residents are the platinum clownfish. So here we have Malibu and Half Pint, and as usual they've gone, I've put them in this side of the tank, which is Skull Island. So looks like they're gonna be hosting this side and probably lay eggs there again. And over this side I placed the normal clownfish, Ocellaris clownfish, and the funny thing is they've gone straight back to that side. So as long as they kind of stay at their own ends of the tank, I'm sure they'll get on fine. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes at feeding time. Okay, time for get the screen cover on. Okay, let's get this built. Okay, so that's the framework done. Cut it out all the size. Just in the process of sticking the mesh on. To cut the aluminium, just used basic hacksaw, a little miter block, and it's worked out perfectly. Also decided to cut round the overflow instead of just covering the whole thing. It gives a cleaner look, and the whole screen sits inside the tank now instead of sitting on top of it. So just about there. I think I'm going to get my wife to pull the screen tight just to help me get a better, cleaner look on it. A cleaner finish, I should say. So I'll go and get that done and then get it fitted onto the tank, and that'll help keep the clownfish inside just in case they do decide to go carpet surfing. This is going to keep them in. And I must admit, really liking this screen with the black mesh. I had the white mesh before, and I never really used it because I don't like them, but I have to say the black mesh, in my opinion, it definitely looks way better. Okay, right, I'll go and get this mesh put on. Right, that's it all done, ready to go. So all I've got to do now is get it onto the tank and see how it looks. Well, I ain't gonna lie, this looks really good. Way better than my old screen that I had. I don't know if it's because it's the black mesh, it's like pretty much invisible. I don't really notice it as much as the white stuff, but the overall finish of this jump guard is awesome. Fits really nicely into the tank. I wasn't keen to use one just because of my past experience with it, but this has definitely improved since the last time I used it. Now I don't have to worry about fish jumping out, and this means I don't have to watch what I buy, so I can pretty much buy any fish now, knowing that once I get them and they get into this tank after quarantine, they ain't going to be jumping out. So really pleased with how this looks now. Okay, time to get some light on the tank. So, got the RMS rail. Still got to get a couple of these for the lights, but I'm going to get 2 of these set up just now with the hanging kit. Kept the lid, cardboard lid of the tank, so when I'm drilling the holes, crap ain't going to go into my water. Right, I'm just putting all the brackets onto all the lights. As soon as I've done this, we'll get them onto the RMS rail, get them hung up, and then we'll get our first look of World's End under some new lights. So really looking forward to seeing how the tank's going to look. I think it's going to look amazing. I'm hoping it's going to look amazing. So as soon as I get this done, get them on and we'll see what's what. But I'm not going to bore you watching me screw all these bits on. We'll just get this done just now and we'll skip. So the next bit you see, the lights will be all hung up. Okie dokie, so we're nearly there. The lights are hung up now. Still got the power cables and stuff to connect. But this is how it's looking. I've got to clip the wire to size. I'm going to have the lights 9 inches off the water surface. Now you might be wondering why I don't have the lights bang on the middle of the tank. Well, I want the lights to be above where I've got the rock, and I'm not really fussed about having the light spill onto the front glass if it was in the middle, because all you end up doing is having more algae growing on your front glass. And I want the lights to be directly where I'm going to have my corals, which is on the rock. So that's why I've placed the light unit there and not directly in the middle, in case some people are wondering. So yep, really happy with how it's looking, and I'll get the power supplies, get all that sorted out. As soon as we've got that, we'll be able to rock and roll, and we'll be able to see these fishes under the blue light. So get all that sorted out. Okay, so that's all the wiring sorted out. I've put the power blocks here, and I've decided instead of going into the other side of the cabinet, I'll just put an extension here. Obviously once I build the refugium cabinet, you're not going to see that anyway, so that's fine. So here's how the tank's looking. So that's the lights are on, 9 inches above the water. It's recommended by Ecotech. And you can see I've added some more fish. So we have staple gun, copper band butterfly, two platinum clownfish, were the first ones. Now, you'll notice this side, there is no orange ocellaris clownfish because the male and female swam over to this side and started fighting with my platinums, and they just weren't getting on, and I think if I left it any longer, the orange female would have ended up killing my platinums, and we've had the platinums for years, so there's absolutely no way that they were going to be kicked out. So I've removed the orange clownfish just now, and I've got them up for sale. So they'll be moving on. If, however, I do not sell them, then once I build the tank for this area, I'll just put them in there, and that'll be their home in there. So what else we got in here? We have Lucifer, the Hilfriki firefish, but typical. As soon as I've grabbed the camera, he's went and hid. Alright, he's at the back there. I don't know if you can spot him there, like. I can just see him and no more. So he's in here. Other fish we've got in here is the wee fella, the Foodmani orchid dotty buck, and he lives in that little cave in there. It's like a whole cave system inside this rock, and he's kind of claimed that as his wee spot. And there is somewhere else, just there, in that little cave there, one of the green chromies. I don't know if you can see him. He kind of hides in there, and he's kind of a bit fair because in the old tank the flame angel was always picking on him, so he just spent most of their time hiding all the time. The other fish we've got in here now is Jaws, the pink spot goby. That's him in the back, and there's the other green chromie. I've only got 2 of them now. Did have 7, but kind of suspect the flame angel kind of picked them off to death, to tell you the truth, because they were all getting on fine beforehand, and I just didn't notice what the flame angel was doing to them till later on. So that's everything we've got just now. Obviously some of the corals from Dead Man's Chest, I've stuck them in, and believe me, I am perfectly aware that it's far too early for SPS. But it was like, I didn't want to sell these colonies. A lot of my corals have pretty much gave away at crazy low prices, like, so these ones I decided I was going to keep them, and we'll see how they do. If they last, they last. Hopefully they do. One thing was, in Dead Man's Chest, if you remember, I was getting all these sun corals popping up everywhere. I never bought a sun coral, they just kind of appeared, and they were forever spawning all over the tank. So I've managed to rescue a few polyps, and I've stuck them on this wee frog plug here. So we've got that there, and I've rescued another one and I've stuck it in this wee rock here. It's already got a baby coming out the side, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, we've got the diatoms showing on the sand bed and on the rocks. Water's pretty cloudy looking. The back glass is a bit dirty. The snails are cleaning that. So, cleanup crew wise, I've added a total of 40 snails, and we've got 2 tuxedo urchins, we've got 1 cowrie and 1 conch. He's busy there.
And then there's a bumblebee snail there.
Although I think he's dead, to tell you the truth. I think a crab kind of got hard on him. There's also round about 7 hermit crabs. There's maybe 4 red hermits and the rest are blue legged hermits. So that's pretty much it. So I'm super happy with the lights, but I still suspect a wee bit later on I'm going to build a wee canopy and just to hide all this so you want to see it. And I've still got to set up my ATO. Not done that yet, so I've got to set up the auto top off, and I've got a UV sterilizer to get on here as well. So, but that's it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Till the next one. Bye bye.